What's up, YouTube? Brian here with Team D-Boyz Infinity, and today I'm bringing you my deck profile and tournament report from the Atlanta Regional on January 8th. But first, to talk about the event, overall, it was a lot of fun. I played some very good games. The format's not really as much of a die roll format as people may think. I won one die roll and I still managed to win 5 matches. So, because a lot of the times, sometimes it does happen. Oh, I set up my board, you can't beat me. But a lot of times you get into some really competitive grind games where there's a lot of interaction going on between both players, and so it was a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, also the event, the venue was very nice. The tournament ran very smoothly. So overall, it was very fun. And I had a lot of friends up there from locals, and obviously my team was there. We had 3 players competing. So I didn't finish as well as I would have liked. I ended up finishing 55th, and I was X3. It was an 8 round regional, so I finished 5-3. So I didn't get the top like I wanted to and get my invite to Nats, but overall, I played really well and it was a lot of fun. And I still had a very good record. X3 isn't bad, so I was proud of myself for how I did at the tournament. So first up, I'll hop into the deck profile, and then I'll talk about my matchups round by round. So for the main deck, you obviously play three three of each Metalfoes. This is gonna look really familiar. I played a similar build back a couple months ago. The main deck is identical to Break's deck that won Bochum, but yeah, this deck's pretty super standard. I didn't really see any need to change it, honestly, because you have to play those cards. I feel like you have to play 3 eccentric because of its the cool plays with combination, and it's also just the best generic pendulum monster. Back row removal, you can bait stuff with it, and it's really good. Like you have to play the Magispectors, the 3 Bumbuku, and the Kirin. And I chose to run the Nekomata, the cat. It was just another way to get to Kirin, even if it's on a 1 turn delay. But it's also, you can make Totem Bird, and it's a searchable 1 scale or a searchable low scale. So it was really nice. Before I was playing Luster, and I just felt that Luster didn't do enough. So, if you opened it, it could extend your plays a little bit, and you can make Ignister. But other than that, it was just in there for the Ignister, so it was kind of bricky if you opened it. I don't really like it. And then obviously, I'm still playing the Cleaforts to make Cyber Dragon Affinity. Still really good engine. They're pendulums and their vanillas, so it's just the overall work with the deck. The one rabbit's insane. Like just being able to make a 1 card Xyz monster is really cool. And then to round it out, the 2 main deck maxis, because it's just a solid card overall. This format, you can get a lot of people who are trying to special summon and gain free advantage. Maxi worked out very nicely for me at the event. Especially since I lost so many die rolls. I had to have something going second. And then obviously my spells, you have to play the Searchers, the 3 art for your Cleaforts, and the Volflame, and the Decisions for the Metalfoes. Because you want to open as many Metalfoes, you have to run these filler cards, because these are just more copies of your Pendulum Scales. This card, I would definitely not run 3. Obviously, the standard's been 2 for a while now, but I actually opened both of these in my first game of the tournament, and I was like, this is terrible luck. I lost, and I showed my opponent my hand. I was like, I bricked really bad, and he's like, oh damn. I was like, yeah, I got this unlucky. I'm gonna sack somebody with emptiness today, and sure enough, game 2, I open emptiness with Alcahest and a Fall Flame on field, and I just won off of it, and it was hilarious because game 1 my luck was terrible, open double decision. Game 2, open emptiness and win. So it was really funny. But yeah, definitely play two. Three's too much. One, you don't see it enough. But you can sometimes side this out. I did that a few times at the tournament. Uh, Double desires. You don't need desires to play Metalfoes, but it's really good because the scales all do the same thing. They're like super redundant, so you're not missing anything by banishing them. And sometimes it gets you there if you brick. Like I had in my Kaiju Yasenju matchup, I opened with like double MST, Danko, and like no double MST and like I don't know. I opened really poorly. I opened like no metal foes, and I drew into Danko off desires and strike. So I summoned Danko and did damage, and then he kaiju'd my Danko. I had the MST for his anti spell, and then I set strike, and he went for combo one to try and bounce his kaiju back. And after I fused, that's it. I opened full metal foes fusion. I fused, and he went to bounce the kaiju, and I struck his combo one and just beat him down with the kaiju. So like it'll get you there sometimes, but yeah. Double MST in the main, really strong card for back row removal, and then one of each fusion spell to round out the spells. The traps. Keep it simple. One of each trap, and then of course vanities because it's Saki. Onto the extra deck. I played for the fusions. I played one Orcalc. You only really need one. Triple Mithrilium, obviously standard. Card's really strong. One Adamante. I can't think. I feel like I may have made him. I'm not sure. I feel like I did. I can't really remember because I'm obviously filming this post event like the day after. And then I played two Alcahest. I had some room in the extra deck. There's some stuff I didn't feel like I needed to play, so I decided to play two of him. Because obviously you can cycle back the first one if you do need a second one. But sometimes you want to recycle other stuff with Mithrilium, so you don't want to like waste that recycling effect on Alcahest. So you have the second one if you need it in case. Because like I said, I didn't feel like there's a lot of stuff I needed to extra stuff I needed to play in the extra deck in terms of like Xyz. So, but for the Xyz, I had the Cyber Dragon, Infinity, and Nova. And then for the rank 4s, Utopia and Utopia the Lightning, Castel, Dweller, card's amazing against water. And then the rank 3s, I played Breaksword and Totem Bird. And that's it for the extra deck. So for the side deck at the event, I played double Gamma Seal for like problem monsters. I looped this against Blue Eyes. I would like tribute over Spirit and then bounced it with Mithrilium. Tributed over the Dragon Spirit of White, and then I bounced it with Kieran and tribute over his alternative and just cleared his entire field with it. It was hilarious. But yeah, this card's really good. Obviously, against like heroes and like frogs and any other problem monster, whatever we were dealing with. I sided two Dankos for like the frog matchup, and it came in against the Yasenju, so that was pretty solid. I didn't actually play any frogs, so played no heroes, played no water. I played mostly mirrors and like ABCs. Triple system down, was really strong against ABC. I opened two and thought I was going to lose in game three because I had a pretty bricky hand with both system downs. So I held on to one until he committed his buster, system down him, and then he made another rank 4, and I noticed he had two Bs out of play and one engraved, so I activated the second one, and he couldn't win. Board wipes, Darkhole and Regeki, obviously for heroes and like rogue. It's a really solid card. The third MST, because I have to side this in game 2 if my opponent goes first, because I know they're going to anti-spell me. Double Wiretap. I played this, like I would definitely side this if I was playing the Ariadne build, But like I said, I didn't play any frogs, which is what I sided it for. So I don't know how good it is. But yeah, it did come up because I played against the artifact deck. So like it could have been good against Sanctum, but like it never came up. So I don't know. And then some Solemn's Double Striking Warning. This card, I'll go into that when I go into my matchups. But for my matchups, guess I should give you guys something to look at, right? While I go into my matchups. For the matchups, round one I played ABC. I told you what happened game one and game two, and then game three I opened this double system down, so I won that game. Round two I played Blue Eyes. I 2-0'd him. Game one I opened up really strong. Game two he opened really strong, but I kaiju'd him multiple times. Round three I played the Mirror. I lost. I went first, and game one I won, and then I lost the last two. He just opened like two unbreakable boards. Game three I bricked, I believe, too. I don't really remember that matchup that well. Round four I played Kaiju Senju's. I 2-0'd him. Game two was when I bricked and had to had to poke him down with his own Kaiju. Round five I played ABC Artifacts. Game one, he opened, it was Jaffer. He opened really well, like he set 3 and set Monster. And then I went Scout, and I was going to pop it for Fusion and try and go Mithrilium to bait the back row. And he went Ignition, set Scythe, and then Sanctumed into Beagle Talk, and I couldn't win. Game two, I opened really strong, and then game three, I was able to run through all of his busters, and he eventually made Emerald to get him back, and yeah, I lost that round. Round six, I played Yangzing Metalfoes. Game one, he didn't reveal to me what he was playing. He scooped because he couldn't go off turn one and set up his invincible board. So game two, he goes first, sets up with like 5 negates. I can't play. Game three, I get to go first, and I like summon Gold Driver and passed, and he opens the play, pops Swanee for Jiaotu, and then he goes into the Jiaotu's effect. I let it resolve, and I strike the Synchro Summon, and then next turn I warning his Pendulum Summon, and he loses. So round seven, I played Ben Leverett in the mirror match. Game one, he opened broken. He opened way too strong, and I couldn't win. Game two, I opened really broken with like Cyber Dragon Infinity and like the Alcahest play. And so he continues to play. He tries to bait Infinity, and I save it for his Bumbugu because I know Kieran is the best card in the mirror. And so eventually he stalls with some Pendulum Summons, and he finally hard draws the Kieran, and he's able to like eccentric to bait the Infinity, and he Kieran's away my Alcahest, and then summons Mithrilium to clear the Infinity off the field, and then he attacks me. I draw into Strike the next turn. If I had Strike a turn earlier, I would have won. And we were in time actually in game two, so we would have drawn. But yeah, sometimes you just get really unlucky. But it was a really solid game. So I was X3 after round 7, so I decided to play out round 8 since I was still there. And I played the mirror, and I 2-0'd him. Game 1, he went first. And then I beat him. He went first game 2 too, I believe. But he could only open like kind of solid. Like his hands weren't like overly broken. I made Infinity, I believe, both games. So, because I opened like a really broken hand both games. So I easily won. Maxie helped me in that round too. So yeah, that's the deck profile and the tournament report. The event was a lot of fun. The next one's coming up in February in Atlanta, at least. So I'm gonna try and I'll definitely be at that regional. So I'll bring you guys a report of what I play, and hopefully I'll get my top. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.